Have you ever seen something so crazy, so mind-bending that you thought it had to be CGI, like something straight out of a sci-fi movie? Well, what if I told you that some of the most impossible-looking things you can imagine are actually real? I'm talking about objects that float in midair with zero support, materials that make things invisible, and liquids that act like solids. It sounds like straight-up magic, but it's all just really, really advanced science. Today, we're going to explore 10 of these impossible objects that prove our world is way weirder and more awesome than you could ever imagine. I went out and found some of the craziest, most unbelievable scientific marvels on the planet. We're going to see a train that literally flies above its tracks, a liquid that looks like it's alive, and even a metal that can remember its own shape. This isn't just a science lesson, this is a journey into the future, and it's happening right now. Stick around, because the first object we're looking at is literally locked in place by quantum physics, floating as if by magic. You do not want to miss this. Let's get into it. Alright, first up, we have something that looks like it was ripped straight out of a superhero movie. This is called quantum locking, or superconducting levitation. Look at this. This little disc, called a superconductor, is floating above a set of magnets, but it's not just floating, it's locked in place. I can push it, tilt it, even flip the entire thing upside down, and it just stays there, suspended in midair. First, you need to make this disc a superconductor by getting it really, really cold. We're talking liquid nitrogen cold. It expels magnetic fields from its interior. This is called the Meissner effect. But tiny magnetic flux tubes get trapped in imperfections, pinning the disc in a fixed position relative to the magnet. It's like the universe put it in an invisible cage made of physics. Imagine floating vehicles, frictionless bearings, whole new ways to move. It's literally real-life magic powered by extreme cold. A perfect window into the weirdness of quantum mechanics. If quantum locking is levitation on a small scale, this next one is levitation on a massive scale. I'm talking about an entire train, weighing hundreds of tons, filled with hundreds of people, literally flying down a track at over 300 miles per hour. This is a Maglev train. Magnetic levitation. These trains don't have wheels. They don't even touch the track. Like poles repel, opposite poles attract. Maglevs crank that up with powerful electromagnets on the train and in the guideway. The guideway flips polarity hundreds of times a second, creating a wave that the train surfs. Lifted about half an inch, the friction basically vanishes. With almost no contact, air resistance is the main drag. The ride is smooth and quiet. This isn't sci-fi, it's real in Japan, South Korea, and China. The future of transportation is already here, and it's floating. Okay, this next one is straight out of Harry Potter, an invisibility cloak. We can't vanish a person yet, but the science is real. It uses metamaterials, engineered structures that bend light around an object. Imagine rerouting a river around a rock. If light doesn't hit it, you can't see it. Most cloaks work for specific wavelengths, microwaves, or a narrow color of visible light. The Rochester cloak uses simple lenses to hide objects in plain sight. Small objects placed behind cloaks literally vanish. Beyond hiding, think bending seismic waves, advanced camouflage, better imaging. It's early, but controlling light itself is becoming real tech. The future is going to be very hard to see. We're learning to tell light where to go, and where not to go. We've seen things float using magnets and quantum physics, but what about floating things with sound? It uses powerful, high-frequency sound waves to trap and suspend small objects in midair. Tiny drops of water, small insects, little pieces of styrofoam, just hanging there. Two transducers face each other, emitting ultrasound. Their waves interfere and create a standing wave. Low-pressure nodes and high-pressure antinodes make invisible pockets of pressure. Place a small object in a node, surrounding pressure cages it and counters gravity. It's ultrasound, too high for us to hear, so it looks silent and magical. By changing the sound, scientists can move objects, merge droplets, and do contact-free experiments. It has potential in pharmaceuticals and touchless handling of delicate electronics. Quiet, gentle, powerful, proof that invisible forces can be harnessed to do the impossible. Get ready to see a liquid that looks like it's alive. This is ferrofluid, Bring a magnet near it and the fluid transforms. It grows spikes and geometric patterns. It seems to dance, like a mind of its own. It's a colloid, tiny magnetic nanoparticles, a surfactant to keep them apart. All suspended in a liquid. Add a magnetic field, and the particles snap to attention, aligning along field lines. Magnetism battles surface tension and gravity, making those stunning structures. Artists craft mesmerizing kinetic sculptures, developed by NASA for zero-G fuel control, now used for liquid seals and damping in high-end speakers. Even experimental drug delivery, a liquid that lets us see the invisible world of magnetism. You can make this in your kitchen, yet it will break your brain. Non-Newtonian fluid, oobleck, slow. It acts like a liquid. Hit it and it becomes a solid. You can literally run across a pool of it, but stop for a second and you'll sink. Slowly, particles slide by. Under sudden force, they jam. This is shear thickening. Impact squeezes water out. Friction locks them. Release and it flows again. Scientists are developing flexible body armor that hardens on impact. From party trick to life-saving tech. A simple mix revealing complex fluid dynamics. Imagine crumpling a metal wire into a mess, dip it in hot water, and like magic, it snaps back to its original shape. It's a shape memory alloy, Nitinol, nickel plus titanium. 2 phases, soft martensite when cold, austenite when heated, returning to its trained shape. The transformation generates real force, like a tiny metal actuator. In medicine, stents compress for delivery, then body heat expands them to open arteries. Eyeglasses that pop back after a bend. Tiny quiet motion for robotics and aerospace. It's a repeatable, physical magic trick. Metal that remembers. What if water couldn't touch a surface at all? Superhydrophobic materials make water bead, bounce, and roll away, like an invisible force field. Nature invented it first. The lotus effect. Microtextures trap air so water essentially floats. Minimal contact, maximum surface tension. Droplets gather dust, self-cleaning surfaces. Engineers replicate it by etching, lithography, or special coatings on glass, metal, and fabric. Imagine clothes that don't wet, windshields that shed rain, boat hulls with less drag. Dunk it and it emerges dry. Sometimes the most amazing technologies copy the genius of nature. The most brilliant colors in nature often contain no pigment at all. Peacock rainbows and opal fire are structural color created by physics. Tiny repeating patterns, on the scale of light, scatter and interfere to amplify certain wavelengths, change the viewing angle, and the color can shift or disappear. Scientists design photonic crystals to make any color, without paint. Structural color doesn't fade like pigment. Think forever color coatings, novel cosmetics, and fabrics that shift hue. You're seeing surfaces engineered by nature or by us to play with the very fabric of light. This is gallium, a metal so strange it melts in your hand. With a melting point around 85 degrees Celsius, body warmth turns it into a shimmering liquid. It forms heavy glossy beads, hypnotic to watch. Mix gallium with indium and tin, Gallinstan, liquid well below freezing. It's a fluid, and an excellent electrical conductor. Imagine circuits you can bend, twist, or even have flow through soft tubing. Break a trace, and it can self-heal. Flow back together to complete the circuit. With tiny voltages or chemistry, droplets change shape and move, fueling soft robots. From a novelty in your palm to self-healing electronics, liquid metals blur the line between solid and liquid, machine and organism. So there you have it, 10 objects that seem impossible but are 100% real. From quantum locking, to metals that remember, to liquids that act alive, the world is filled with things that defy our everyday expectations. What we think is magic is often science we don't understand yet. It all starts with a simple question: what if? These discoveries seed technologies that will define the 21st century and beyond. If you thought this was cool, hit subscribe. We're always chasing the next crazy thing. Tell me in the comments which one blew your mind: living liquid, invisibility cloak, or quantum locking. For me, it's quantum locking. Seeing an object frozen in space gets me every time. Stay curious, keep asking questions, and I'll see you in the next video.